YouTube does not push my videos or pretty much anybody's, even if you're subscribed and hit the bell notification. You actually have to go to my channel manually yourself to find the videos and watch them. So if you like what you're seeing here, the information that I provide, the philosophical essays, the cerebral content, the book reviews, etc., you're going to have to manually go to my YouTube channel and find the videos. I post new videos every day, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for the video essays in particular. Good morning, guys. Welcome to day something or other until I'm a YouTube millionaire. Today is going to be a book review of A Fortunate Life by A.B. Facey. This is quite the interesting book. It says right on the cover of it, it's an Australian classic with over 1 million copies sold. But basically, it's a biography of Albert Facey, the author of the story, or autobiography is technically what it would be. It chronicles all the way from his birth in 1894 to just a couple years before his passing in 1981, I believe it was. He lived 87 years, served in World War I, was primarily I guess you could call it an itinerant farmer in Australia, but he shows that he was one of the pillars, him personally, because if you know anything about Price's Law and the Pareto principle, it's a small number of individuals that have the huge disproportionate amount of impact on society and the direction upon which it goes. He was one of those top tier Pareto principle individuals who basically built Australia from the ground up. He started probably 5 or 6 farms. I don't remember how many, but it was a lot. Did a lot of poultry and pig farming, sheep farming, all that stuff. Had a bunch of different jobs, was a tram worker, had 7 children. 2 of his own children also served in World War II. One of them passed away. His eldest, Barney, was shot by a Japanese shell that destroyed his entire truck, or whatever, and unalived 4 other people in addition to himself. But he had quite the storied life. He was illiterate when he was up to like the age of 14 or something, and then he did night school after he got out of the military and went back home so that he would be more employable. But he wrote this story after having been self-taught in both reading and writing. And it's very straightforward in the way it's written. Very black and white. He just basically tells you the details of his life. He doesn't use any flowery language or anything like that. It's just straightforward. But because he did so many things in his life, even with those very basic explanations, the story is still pretty darn long. It's 425 pages. And I have to say, while the story is very good, and I love to learn all this history, because this is history. Individuals make history. One singular page in the whole book screwed the whole thing over. Page 414. I remember the exact page because I was so heartbroken by it. But he says, right here, "No, sir, there is no God. It is only a myth." The reason he said that was founded upon the idea that if God exists, why does he allow suffering? And one, he doesn't. I mean, look at what happened during the flood and Sodom and Gomorrah, etc. But 2, there's many other explanations to this. These are just the ones I'm giving right now. God needs to make sure that we survive. That's what he needs to make sure. As a civilization, as a people, as a species. That's the goal here. He wants to ensure that we survive. If he puts too much effort into any one point in time or space, then he takes away that effort from other points in time and space, or rather delays the ultimate triumph at the end. The suffering is there because we are the soldiers that are on the ground. We're the ones that are building that future with the guidance of God. And it was so tragic to me looking at everything this guy did. I mean, he had a fortunate life, like the title indicates. It was actually a very difficult life, but he did so many important and humongous things. For him to say that God doesn't exist is essentially for him to say that he doesn't exist. It was heartbreaking. He lived as if he believed, had a bunch of children, got married to a woman named Evelyn, served and built. God's servants and warriors and followers are builders. That's what we do. And that's precisely what he did his whole life. He totally missed the point. Shown by one singular page in the whole book. I was very sad after reading that singular page, and it's why I remember it off the top of my head. Because one line like that, if that's how you pass away, if that's how you end your life in that mentality, then what was it for? He literally made the world better by virtue of his existence for countless individuals. And he couldn't see that he was the emissary of God, among many others, among all of us who are trying to build a better world. To say that God exists is to say that you exist. And God is trying to tell you, Jesus is trying to tell you, that you do. It's something that I'm writing in my own novel series. The main character, every time he goes into the future, sees nothing. It all goes to heat death of the universe. And every single change he makes to the timeline, or the alternate realities or whatever, it never seems to change that ultimate end state, which is complete erasure of everything. Heat death of the universe, absolute entropy. But he finds along the way that the purpose he's doing it, all the people that are in the looking glass with him, they're what he's actually trying to save. They're the purpose for it all. They're all alive. They're there, and he gets to have a relationship with them. I think A.B. Facey would be an individual who would see that inevitable heat death of the universe and wouldn't realize that he is the one that is changing it, even though he can't see it. So, again, a very good book. I really liked it. I loved to learn the history of Australia from the eyes of an individual who actually built it. But a heartbreaking end to it. So as long as you can keep that in mind, you don't let it too much adversely affect your own spirituality, philosophy, and life, then yes, I do recommend it. But when somebody with this much of an effect on the world ends his life saying that, finishes his life in that state of belief or unbelief, it can do a lot of damage. It can undo everything that he did his whole damn life. The whole country of Australia, because he's one of those top tier people, Pareto Principle people, the whole country could be undone by a singular individual. As long as you don't let that one little aspect affect you. Because when he said that, he wasn't just giving his own opinion, he was also affecting the effort that other people might give in the future to keep the world going. As long as you can keep that away from your perspective, then Yeah. Worth a read. Okay, guys. That's what I got for today. Again, very saddening. Anyways, love y'all. Peace.